Chris, I think one of the nicest things about Tree People, not only the fact that you guys distribute, thousands and thousands of trees every year to inner city schools.
Fruit tree, yeah.
Lots of fruit trees. We've had a great relationship between Tree People and Dave Wilson for many, many years, but you guys are also teachers. This is an entrance to a brand new urban watershed garden,
yeah.
And we're going to take a quick tour of that and describe what's going on in here.
Yeah, here at Tree People, we have 10,000 school kids that come on up to our park every year. And this area, when it's complete, will be the gathering area. Those students are broken up into groups and they head off to a variety of different environmental learning stations that they rotate between. This one in particular is the entrance, as Tom said, to our new urban watershed garden. And the best thing about it is we get to walk through a misting storm drain. And the storm drain is just part of the story of what they're going to learn of what happens underneath their feet in a typical urban landscape.
Come on through, let's check it out. Chris, this is one of my favorite spots in this new garden. Yeah. I think this whole facility is just going to be phenomenal when it's complete, but let's start from the top. Tell us what we're doing.
Okay. Well, what you see here is what I call our mountain fountain. This fountain represents the top of a watershed. A watershed that most people don't really know is actually the land. A watershed is the land that goes from higher to lower. So when water falls in the mountains, it makes its way downstreams into rivers that make their way to a large body of water. In the Los Angeles area, that means the ocean. So you have a bowl of land that water sheds its way down to the ocean. Now, in a natural watershed in the mountains, water comes down from the sky and is allowed to make its way through the forest mulch down into the ground and hit, like we had talked before, the aquifer, or make its way into underground streams and rivers. In an urban watershed, we've covered the land with concrete and asphalt, and that water isn't allowed to make its way down into the land or into that aquifer. So we're still in the midst of construction here, but I'm going to describe what is going to be here in a matter of weeks. What you're going to see here is a mini demonstration of a typical urban home. This area is going to be covered in a very thirsty lawn sod. We're going to have typical bushes and rose plants here, and we've got a sprinkler system. Here we've got a concrete driveway. We've got a little mini concrete sidewalk, and right here, once the yellow stripe is in the middle, you'll see that this represents a typical street. Okay? So what happens is this will allow us to demonstrate to folks what happens when the sprinklers come on. So when this area gets sprinkled, not only will it sprinkle the lawn, but it also sprinkles out onto the sidewalk and the street. One way we waste water. Another is that typically in an urban home, water falls on the rooftops, hits a gutter system, goes down a downspout, and all of those downspouts are directed toward the street over concrete surfaces. You see, in LA, our home properties are angled at a slight angle so that everything moves toward the street. The idea is for that water to run off, go into a storm drain system. So what we're going to be able to do here when we have our school kids is the school kids are going to drop things onto this hard surface. They'll be dropping representation of oil, representation of soap, and of trash, cans and bottles and other land pollution. They'll place right here on the driveway, the sidewalk, and the street. Then what we're going to do is we're going to be able to demonstrate what happens when it starts to rain to all those items left on a hard surface. Up on top of the roof here, it's going to start to rain. And pretty soon that water gathers and it's going to come right out down here on my downspout. All that water, along with my hose, is going to direct all that oil, soap, and trash right into that drain. A typical drain that you'll see at the end of streets and in any urban landscape. All right, so the next thing students are going to be able to do is they're going to wash all that oil and soap and trash going down into the drain. They're going to be able to walk up here to this clear little window into what happens under the street. Now they will have gone through that storm drain, and this is our opportunity to say, you know, under our streets and sidewalks are those giant storm drains that carry all that wasted water and pollution and trash right on through. So they're going to watch the trash come on down through here, and then they're going to see it pop out into what we have here, which is our little mini LA River. In the Los Angeles area, our main river systems are channelized, which means that they are covered in concrete, so that all that water is directed specifically on its way to the ocean. And with it, it carries all of that wasted water and pollution on its way to the ocean. The problem with a system that's channelized with concrete like this is that, again, none of that water, even in a natural river, is allowed to make its way underground to reach our aquifers. From here, the LA River makes its way to our representation of the ocean. And when this is all done, it'll be a little more blue and I'll have the word ocean on it, but what you're going to see is this portion of the ocean will look dirty. It'll have that trash coming on through, our representation of oil and soap, and the kids will be, and our visitors will get to see the contrast between this portion, which is polluted, and this portion, which from our mountain fountain made its way through the stream to a river that comes out to the ocean clean.